Here we have a first application of De Moivre's theorem. Using De Moivre's theorem, we are going to find the roots of a complex number. So step number one, whatever the complex number we are given in the Cartesian form, we are going to convert into the polar form. Step two, replace theta by theta plus 2k pi. That gives us a general polar form. After that, we are going to take nth root on both sides. And if we take nth root on both sides there, we get uh, by De Moivre's theorem that z raised to 1 by n is equal to r raised to 1 by n into cos of theta plus 2k pi upon n into plus I times sine of theta plus 2k pi upon n. For each value of k, we get one root of this complex number. When we replace k by the value equal to n or greater than n, we get a repeated root. So there is no need to replace it again, k equal to n, n plus 1, n plus 2, as we are getting the repeated root there. Okay, so let me see the examples, then it becomes more clear here.
Sir, shall we note down the thing which you showed?
If you want, yes, you can. Yeah, definitely, I will show you.
Okay, sir.
So if you want to write like this. Say step number one. Step one, write a polar form. This is a step one. A plus bi is equal to r times cos theta plus I times sine theta. That is step one. Step two, general polar form. You write this statement. And step three, applying De Moivre's theorem. Applying De Moivre's theorem and replace k by 0 to n minus 1. So once you complete it, tell me. We'll move to the question then. Once you finish, tell me.
Finished, sir. Sir, one question was there.
Yes.
Uh, Hello, sir.
Yes.
I'm telling, before writing the last step, we have to write that we are applying De Moivre's theorem.
Yes.
No.
Yes, obviously. So we'll see the question, then it becomes more clear how we are going to use these steps to solve the numericals there. Okay. So here is a first example. Let me see how to find the cube root of 27. Even though it is a real number, we already know we get the cube roots of a real number directly. Okay. Uh, so let me find out its all three roots of the 27. So probably we have a pair of a complex root and one is a real root there. So one property is there of a complex root, that complex root always occur pairwise. So if alpha is a root, then alpha bar, its a conjugate, is also the root of that equation. So if we see this question, find a cube root of 27. So step number one, this is the real Cartesian form. We are going to convert it into the polar form. So if we compare this number 27 with x plus iy, we get the value for x as a 27, y as a 0. So what about r? R is a root of x square plus y square, and that will come itself for 27 again. And theta is a tan inverse y by x. That is a tan inverse 0. Tan inverse 0 is a 0. So this step number one, we get z, that is a 27, as r is a 27, and we say it is a cos 0 plus I times sine 0. So that about step number 1. We written the complex number which is a Cartesian form in a polar form. So this is the polar form of the complex number. Step 2. Convert this theta by theta to theta plus 2k pi. We are replacing theta by theta plus 2k pi. So this becomes cos of 0 plus 2k pi, 0 plus 2k pi plus I sine 0 plus 2k pi. Okay, so obviously that 0 doesn't matter there. So 27 we get cos 2k pi plus I times sine 2k pi. So what is this equation? This is a general polar form. This is general polar form of a number 27. Now the last step, third step is left. We want cube root. So taking cube root on both sides, cube root on both sides, we get z raised to 1 by 3. Z raised to 1 by 3 is 27 raised to 1 by 3. And this bracket raised to 1 by 3, yes, you can write it as upon 3 by de Moivre's theorem. So, or you can add one step first, cos 2k pi plus I times sine 2k pi bracket raised to 1 by 3. Okay, so just we taken a cube root on both sides there. Now by de Moivre's theorem, this 27 cube root is, yes, we know it is a 3. Okay, because 3 raised to 3 is a 27, so that comes to 3. Here, by de Moivre's theorem, we get cos of 2k pi upon 3 plus I sine 2k pi upon 3. And if you want, yes, you can give the reason, or you can write here by de Moivre's theorem. By de Moivre's theorem. Now, this expression gives us all the three roots by putting the values of k. So, we have to start the values of k with a 0. K is a 0, that is a first value, then 1. And we replace up to 2 only because we wanted three roots. We take a rest to 1 by 3. So we replace from 0, 1 and up to 2 only. There is no need to replace k by 3, 4, 5 because it gives us the same roots again there. So let me find out these three roots now. The last step is left. We have to find out the values of z raised to 1 by 3 for k equal to 0, k equal to 1 and k equal to 2 there. So let I write it here. For k equal to 0, I will write it here on the top side. Now k equal to 0, k equal to 0 implies z raised to 1 by 3 is equal to. So you'll observe k is a 0 means cos 0 plus I sine 0. What is a cos 0? Cos 0 is 1,
1.
sine 0 is a 0. So we get z raised to 1 by 3 equal to 3 only because it is 1 and that is a 0. Is that clear? Now k equal to 1, k equal to 1, then second root, you can do like this. Instead of writing z raised to 1 by 3 because we are writing three roots, so you can say z1, z2 and z3 are the three roots there. So you can give the suffix also. So let I write that way only. So I will say the first one is a z1. Now z2, the second root. So we are putting here k by 1. So 3 times cos 2 pi by 3 plus I sine 2 pi by 3. What is the angle 2 pi by 3? What is the degree? This is 120, is it? What is cos 120?
Minus half.
Very good. It's a minus half is the correct answer. Minus half plus I root 3 by 2. So I will say Z2, Z2, Z2 is a 3 times in bracket minus half plus I times root 3 by 2. So we observed here that second root is a complex root. First root Z1 is a real. One real root we got. Z2 is a complex root, and we know the property of a complex root. If there is a complex root present for some equation, its conjugate is also the root there. So obviously the next root should be minus half minus I root 3 by 2. Is that? We will check it. Or so that is in the roots of equation. Here we are calculating cube roots. So we'll check what is exactly the answer. So next k equal to 2. K is equal to 2. We get a third root z3. Z3 is a third root, that is a 3 times. If we replace it is by 2. So it is cos 4 pi by 3, cos 4 pi by 3 plus I times sine 4 pi by 3. Now, if 2 pi by 3 is 120, so it is a 240. 240 is in the third quadrant, is that? So, obviously, both are coming negative. So, what about Z3? Yes, anyone? Z3 is 3 times minus half minus I times root 3 by 2. So, Z2 and Z3 are the conjugate of them, each other. So, we got 3 roots, which will be our final answer. The final answer, you should highlight this one, Z1 equal to 3, Z2 equal to this much, and Z3, yes, it is some overwritten is there, but I hope you can understand this. Is that clear? So that way we get all the 3 roots. Yes, k equal to 0, 1, 2, Sahitya, correct. So we replace k by 0, 1 and 2 to get all 3 roots for the cube root of 27 there. So once you finish, tell me. So I will show you the graph of these 3 roots. There is a graphical interpretation we have to see the root for the roots of a complex number.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So why did we just take k as 0, 1, 2? Why not 3?
So already I told now, you can cross check also. What will happen if you put k equal to 3? You will get again 3. You will get z1 again. If you replace k by 4, you get z2. If you replace k by 5, you get z3. If you replace k by 6, again you get z1. 7, you get z2. 8, z3. So it will repeat again. So you will get again same roots. So what is the purpose of repeating again that?
Okay, sir.
Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay, good. So just replace first 3 values for cube root. If the question is find all 4 roots of the complex number, we replace k by 0, 1, 2 and 3 to get 4 roots there. So 0 to 3, we get 4 roots, that's enough there. So important thing is you have to focus on 3 to 4 important steps. Step number 1, polar form. Step 2, general polar form. Step 3, apply De Moivre's theorem for the rest 1 by n. And lastly, replace k by 0 to n minus 1. Are you completed? Can I erase?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So let I show you the same thing on the graph now. What exactly these roots represent graphically here. So first of all, cube root of 27. This is a general polar form that we already observed. 3 cis 0, 3 cis 120 and 3 cis 240. So these are the three roots of cube root of 27. And if you draw this graph, if you plot these three complex number in a plane, what happens? The first is here, which is 3 times I0. So this is the on x-axis there. So this is the x-axis. This is the first point we get. Second point, yes, it is of 120 degree. This is 120 degree. Okay. What happens? Each of these complex number have the magnitude, this cube root of 27, that is 3. 3 is the magnitude of each of 3 roots. So this length from the origin is 3 unit. This is again 3 unit and this is also 3 unit. Only the angle will differ. First angle is 0 degree. So this is the first root that you have. This is second root of 120 degree and third root at the 240 degree. So this is also 120 degree there. And you will observe what happens when you find out the roots of complex number. They are always equidistant on a unit circle. They are always equally spaced around a circle of radius 1 by 3, r raised to 1 by 3. So this is the property of roots of complex number. So two important properties you should remember. Roots of complex number always lie on a circle of radius r raised to 1 by n if we are taking nth root. And another thing, it have the equidistant from each other, and because of that they will form a regular polygon on a circle. What is a polygon here? In this case, the polygon it is formed by a 3 roots is a equilateral triangle. So that's a regular polygon. So right now it is equilateral triangle. So obviously the length of each sides are equal there. So that is the main thing. If we have 4 roots, we get square there. If 5 roots, we get regular pentagon, regular hexagon, and so on. That means depending on number of roots, we are getting the polynomial of that part only. Yes, Asif, you are saying when we have to find out 4 roots of, suppose we have to find out 4 roots of 27, then we replace k by 0, 1, 2, and up to 3 only, correct? Okay, so there is no need to replace k by 4, 5, 6 further values because that will give us the same answer there. Okay, that's correct. Any doubt? Is there any doubt?
Sir, this step I could not get, sir. First step.
What is the first step?
This one.
This one?
Below using De Moivre's theorem. Yes, this one.
So
On
this is
which,
the same thing whatever we done previously. We written already. This is instead of 360 we are writing this is a 2k pi. Sorry, 2 pi.
okay, okay, sir.
Okay, this is a 2 pi. 360 is nothing but 2 pi k. That's one. Okay. Now sometime if the question comes, find the nth root of unity. Suppose the general question comes there, find the n roots of unity there. So step number one, given we should say given z equal to 1, given z equal to 1, we have to find out n roots of unity, all n roots of unity. So we have to convert that in a polar form. So compare it with x plus iy. Compare it with x plus iy. This gives us x is equal to 1, y equal to 0. So obviously this gives us r equal to root of x square plus y square, and that is again 1, and theta tan inverse y by x, that is a tan inverse 0, and that's again 0. So z equal to 1 can be written as cos 0 plus I times sine 0. So this is cis 0. I will say cis 0. That is the step 1. This is the step 1. We got a polar form. Now step 2, we should write from polar to the general polar form. So just we are going to add the angle 2k, 2k pi with that theta. So this become cos of 2k pi. Sometimes it is written 360k. Okay, 360k. So I am writing here 2k pi plus sine of 2k pi. So this is the end of the second step. We got a general polar form. I is for
Sir,
there.
I.
Yes, I missed the important, that iota. So z is a cis of 2k pi. Okay, and that is a general polar form. So once we get a general polar form, the next step always we have to take nth root on both sides. Taking n root on both sides, so we say z raised to 1 by n, z raised to 1 by n. Now by De Moivre's theorem, this bracket raised to 1 by n comes as the multiple of the angle. So this is cos 2k pi upon n plus I times sine of 2k pi upon n. So I will say cis of 2k pi upon n, where k takes the values 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1, because in general right now we are not given n, so we say, and there is no need to replace now. There is no need to replace these values because this is in general. The question is in general. We don't know what is n. N is 3 or 10 or 100. We don't know how many roots we have to find out that unity. That is not given. In general, we have to find out n roots. So just write the answer in general only. Z raised to, this is the final answer. Z raised to 1 by n, where 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 the values of k are 0 to n minus 1 gives us n roots of unity. That is the end of the question there. Okay. Now again, there are few properties of the roots, nth root of unity. Whatever n root of unity will find, they always form the geometric progression. Okay. What is the geometric progression? Yes, GP. N roots of unity are always in GP.
They will be having same ratio, sir.
Correct. So if you take R1 divided by R2, then R2 upon R3, then R3 upon R2. your ratio will be a constant. Okay, if ratio between two successive roots is a constant, then we say that a NGP. Okay, so that will be always there, always there. Then sum of the roots of unity is always 0. When you add all the roots of unity, they will be always 0. That's the second property. And product of the roots of unity is this one. So when you take products of all the roots of unity, you will get minus 1 raised to n minus 1. Okay, so we'll check it, because when you take a product, you should get again the same number 1 there.
I have a question, sir.
Yes,
Sir, unity is 1, no, sir?
yes, obviously.
Then root, whatever its root will be 1 only, no, sir?
That is only one of the root, na? When I say square root of 1, tell me, what is the answer? Square root of 1. What will be your answer for square root of 1? Yes.
According to me, it will be 1 only.
No, not correct. The correct answer is plus or minus 1. Is that?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
So whenever we take a square root, there are two roots, and that two roots we say plus or minus 1. One of the root of root 1 is 1. That is one of the root only. But all roots, if we want, yes, we use the complex number theory to find out all the roots of this real number or the complex number there. And this is a method which gives us all possible roots of that one. Okay, so let me do one example on this. So can I move to the next slide? Can I move to the next slide here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the question is like this: if omega is a complex cube root of unity, prove that sum of the roots of unity is a 0. So this is always not only for cube root of unity, it is for fourth root of unity also. If you find out all four roots of unity and you will add it, you will get sum of the roots of unity is always a 0. So, but right now here in particular, the question asked is for cube root of unity. So first of all, find all these three roots of unity. Start it. You can start your calculation. Let z equal to 1, and you can start from this. Let z equal to 1. And one of the root of unity is always 1, obviously. One root is always 1, but we have to find out all roots there. So we go. So let us start here. Let z equal to 1. That is the step number 1. So you can say is equal to x plus iy. This gives us x1, y0. And this gives us r as a 1 and theta as a 0. So you can write it directly also. Therefore, we got z equal to cos 0 plus I sine 0. So that about step 1. We converted in a polar form. Next step, it is cos 0 plus 2k pi plus I times sine 0 plus 2k pi. So that is a general polar form. Therefore, z raised to 1 by 3, as we have to find out cube root, become cos of 2k pi by 3 plus I sine 2k pi by 3. So where k takes the values 0, 1 and 2. This gives us all three roots of unity. Therefore, z1, the first root, before that I will write it here, for k is equal to 0.
So,
Yes,
so what if instead of 0 degree there will be some other degree? Then we will write 2k pi, or there is any change?
no, there will be obviously a change. Suppose this angle theta is a 30 degree. Okay, it is a pi by 6. Okay, so you should write 2k pi plus pi by 6 there. 2k pi plus
Okay,
pi
okay,
by
got
6.
it.
It is theta plus 2k pi. That's a general form, no? So k equal to 0, we get z1 as a first root. So first root cos 0 plus I sine 0, that is 1 only. Okay, or if you want in more detail, you can write like this: cos 0 plus I sine 0, and that is 1. Okay, then k equal to 1, k equal to 1, z2, we get cos 2 pi by 3 plus I sine 2 pi by 3. And we already observed this previous question, minus 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2 iota. And third, k equal to 2 implies z3 is cos 4 pi by 3 minus I sine, it's not minus, plus I sine 4 pi by 3, because we replace k by 2. So 2 into 2 is a 4 pi by 3 there. Now if you calculate cos 4 pi by 3, it is coming minus half again, and it is minus root 3 by 2i. Just we have to give the notation. The first root is 1 itself that we require. If you denote second root by omega, okay, we are assuming let second root is omega. You can assume third root also by omega. You can assume any of the root by omega. Then if you calculate omega square, you get the other one. So this will become omega square. If you square this equation, take a square, a square plus b square plus 2ab, and if you simplify, you get this number. So obviously we have three roots, 1 omega and omega square. So we should say after this, thus 1 omega and omega square are the roots of cube root of unity. First of all, 1, this omega and omega square are the roots of unity. Now consider, I will write it here, consider 1 plus omega square, and that is equal to 1 is there as it is. Omega value is minus 1 by 2 plus I root 3 by 2, and plus omega square value is a minus 1 by 2 minus I root 3 by 2. And now we observe here this obviously that uh, plus I root 3 by 2 minus I root 3 by 2 gets cancelled. 1 minus half is a minus 1, and that the answer will come as a 0. That's the required answer. So we proved here the sum of cube root of unity is a 0 there. Sum of the cube root of unity is a 0. This is actually a 12th standard question. Few of you may complete it there in 12th standard. Those who learned De Moivre's theorem there. Otherwise, yes, no worry. We already seen how to prove the cube roots of unity, or nth root of unity is a 0, that we can prove this way.
Sir, we can also do by the quadratic method also, no?
Yes, your quadratic equation, you can go that way, but you have to take z cube is equal to 1, and then you have to solve that equation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, correct. Once you complete, tell me. Done? Okay,
So
remember?
here we have taken omega. Hello.
Yes, yes.
So here we have considered omega square and omega as this
No,
now minus
no,
2.
only we considered omega as one of the root. Let me assume the z2 is omega. Okay, and then automatically that omega square becomes a z3. Okay, because when you square this z2 square is equal to z3 is there. Z2 square is a Z3, and because of that, just we given a notation. These are standard notations for cube root of unity. One is the first root, omega is a second root, and then whatever the left is omega square is a third root of a unity there. It is always there. You can check.
Okay, sir.
We are given because this is given in question only. Because of that, we taken it. Okay, one more thing. Next session is again I'm going to take it. Okay. So afternoon 1500 hours it will be the self study then. And tomorrow 1500 hours of NS1 is that also the self study. I'm not going to take today and tomorrow afternoon sessions of division 1 and 2 both. So instead I will continue this session only. I will continue it. Any doubt here? Can we move to the next question?
Yes, sir.
So here is the next question. This question can be done in two different way. So anyone first give me your first you go through the question and you can you tell me the step number 1 how to proceed or how to start this question. We are given the center of a regular hexagon is at origin. One vertex is given by root 3 plus I on the Argand diagram. Determine other vertices. So it can be done, I think it can be done in two different ways. So let me check, can we do that way? So at least one method you should tell me how to find all the vertices of this regular hexagon.
Hello.
Yes,
This question we have to note down, है ना, sir?
little louder.
I'm telling this we have to note down, sir.
Your choice, na. If you want, you write down. Otherwise, the recorded sessions are there. You can go through that. Yes, we are going to complete these questions here. Uh, you are writing or not writing, I don't know because I cannot see everyone. So it is your choice at the end. If you are interested, if you want marks, yeah, you should do it definitely. Is that? Yes, 140 Asif is saying it is hexagon means we will take 7th root. Hexagon means a 7, is it?
Six.
6. So how Asif is saying we should take a 7 roots. Okay, so it should be 6 root, huh?
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously. Here, mm, the word regular hexagon indicates, yes, we can do this problem by roots of a complex number also. One of the root we are given, and we can first take 6th power of this complex number. Okay, we should take z equal to root 3 plus I, then we should take z raised to 6. Okay, and then we should take again 6th root on both sides. Means you have to convert that in polar, then general polar. I think that is a difficult, but this is a difficult because taking a 6th power, actually taking a 6th power is again not so difficult, because if we go in a polar form, yeah, let me try that way. Okay, even though it is a little lengthy, let me try this way. So we start like this. Let z equal to root 3 plus I. Compare this with x plus iy. What is x? Y 1. What about r and theta?
Two R2.
R is a 2 and theta tan inverse y by x, tan inverse of 1 by root 3.
5/6.
Okay, I'm not calculating. You check, all of you. Is it correct?
So Z minus one minus 64 है.
Minus 64. Where is minus 64?
Sir, as this
Yes.
Sir, according to question, Z is given one of the vertex, right?
Yes, we are assuming that vertex as a z. Let
So
z
then
is,
it should be Z1, na?
yeah, we will come to that later on when we find out the roots. Right now, just we taken let z
Okay,
is
sir. Okay,
z
sir.
is that complex number. Z is a root 3 plus I. That is one of the root of that. Sorry, one of the vertex of hexagon. We assume that as a z. We converted that in a polar form. Why we converted in polar form? The reason is we have to take 6th power. I mean, because first we have to take raised to 6 of it, and then we have to take 6 roots later on. Okay. So this is the this is a polar form of a root 3 plus I. Now let me take therefore z raised to 6 is 2 raised to 6. Now we are going to take raised to 6 here, raised to 6. So whenever raised to 6 is there, by de Moivre's theorem it become cos. Is it required actually taking raised to 6 and then later on? Yes, it is required. My mistake. Yes, this bracket raised to 6 will come. So it is a cos pi plus I sin pi. Is it okay? Any doubt up to here? Z raised to 6 will come.
No, sir.
No doubt, na? Okay, good. So that becomes Z raised to 6. Now, this is just a polar form of Z raised to 6. We want a general polar form so that we can take a root. Okay. So, no, my mistake. So this is one of the root. Now, if we add 2k pi there, so there is no need to take Z raised to 6 here. That is my mistake here. So we converted that one of the root of that complex number in a polar form. Now we'll convert that in a general polar form directly. So this is a 2 cos, because there is no need to, sorry, this is a 2k pi plus pi by 6 plus I sine 2k pi plus pi by 6. So this is just we replace that theta by theta plus 2k pi to get all roots there. So let I write it still in more simplified form. So this 2 as it is, this cos of, if you cross multiply 6 into 2 is a 12. Okay, so it is a 12k plus 1 into pi by 6 plus I sine 12k plus 1 pi by 6. Those who are interested, they can write in short also cis of 12k plus 1 pi by 6. How many values of k we should replace now? Where k should take the values from? Yes,
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3, 4 and 5, correct. So this will give us all 5 roots which are equidistant from each other, and that will obviously form the regular hexagon. So let me find out all these vertex. What is the radius of the circle? The radius of circle is a 2 there. Okay, so for now, for k equal to,
Sir, among us the six values of k, one is given, na?
yes, one is given, but that will again come back. It will come back again. You will check. You will get again the same root there. So for k equal to 0.
I was just asking, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So for k equal to 0, we get a z1. So I will say the first root or first vertex. This is the first vertex of that regular hexagon. So if you replace k by 0 here, what will left here? 2 times. I will write in short. Okay, instead of short, otherwise you will confuse. I will write in detail. So k is a 0, cos pi by 6 plus I sine pi by 6. Now the same number you got 2 times cos pi by 6 plus I. That means itself you get z0 as the same vertex, which is root 3 plus I, because this will become root
Yes, sir.
3 by 2 and this is a 1 by 2. Is that so?
Yes, sir. Same.
Yes, correct. Root 3 by 2 plus I 1 by 2, and that is a root 3 plus I. So this is the first vertex of hexagon we got, the first vertex. Now k equal to 1, we get a second vertex, z2. So it is a 2 times, now here, replace k is equal to 1 now. 12 plus 1, 13. Cos 13 pi by 6 plus I sine 13 pi by 6. Is it correct? Because k is equal to,
Sir, why 12K, sir?
because it's cross multiple and LCM is taken just
Okay,
6
sir.
into 2 is a 12k plus 1 pi by 6. So here we replace k by 1. So 12 plus 1 is a 13 pi by 6. Now we want cos 13 pi by 6. It is greater
The
than,
2 pi plus pi by
Sir,
6.
correct,
2 pi
very good.
plus pi by 6,
2
first
pi plus
quadrant.
pi by 6. So it is first quadrant. So 2 as it is. And what is cos pi by 6? I think
Root 3 by 2.
root 3 by 2 and sin pi by 6. I think, is it the same number we are getting?
Yes, sir, same.
It should not happen actually. We generally get all distinct roots there of that. Can we check 6 is 2 pi plus pi by 6? Yes. Yeah, that is 13 pi by 6. Okay, correct. Then is there anywhere we made a mistake then? Because if you take k equal to 2 also, it is a 25 pi by 6. You are getting the same root again and again actually. What is the problem we done actually? What is the mistake we done here? Anyone? We are writing this same complex number in a general polar, and again we are finding the particular value. So we get same answer again and again. Okay. So whatever we done is not correct. Somewhere we made a mistake here. Can you find out that? Definitely what happened here? See, this is the particular complex number in polar form. We written that in general polar here, this general polar. And in general polar of same complex number, if you replace any values 0, 1 to up to 100 also, you will get same number again and again. So everywhere your answer will come root 3 plus I only. You are not going to get all possible roots there. Yes, someone is on the chat. Let me check where we made mistake here mainly. Power. Yes, we've not taken sixth root anywhere. That is true. That is correct. But for where we should take it, actually, I think we started at somewhere here. This is actually z raised to 1 by 6. It is actually one of the value of z raised to 1 by 6. So we should get cos pi plus I sin pi. Then we should convert that. Okay, here we made a mistake this step. So I will rewrite it again. It's a better so that there is no confusion. So I think we should proceed like this. Let z is a root 3 plus I. So that will convert as a 2 times cos pi by 6 plus I sin pi by 6. This is actually the value for z raised to 1 by 6 there. So this gives us z raised to 6, which is a 2 raised to 6 cos pi by 6 plus I sin pi by 6 raised to 6, and that comes as 2 raised to 6 cos pi plus I sin pi.
Sir, it will give z only, na? Actually, it is z to the power 1 by 6 and we are taking 6 power.
Correct. Or if you denote that way, you can write that. So if you start, let z raised to 1 by 6 is this one, and then z equal to. Okay. So choice is yours. You can proceed with any notation. So however you started, that only you will get at the end. So for example, if you started here, let z raised to 1 by 6 is this much. Okay. Then here is only z. Okay. So that way you will get it. So what I will do it, I will keep my notation here. Choice is your. Notation doesn't matter. At the end, we want that complex numbers are important there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first z is in polar form. Next, we taken z raised to 6 to move from that root to the original complex number. So original complex number is this one. 2 raised to 6 cos pi plus I sin pi. Now this complex number should be converted in this general polar form first. So this will be written as 2 raised to 6 cos pi plus 2k pi plus 2k pi plus I sine pi plus 2k pi, and now this can be written as 2 raised to 6 cos of 2k plus 1 pi plus I sine 2k plus 1 pi, that's one. And now taking again raised to 1 by 6, so z equal to 2 raised to 6 raised to 1 by 6 is only 2, and that by de Moivre's theorem this will become cos of 2k plus 1 pi by 6 plus I sine 2k plus 1 pi by 6, where k should take the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now you can check whether we are getting all 5 vertex, all 6 vertex of this regular hexagon. So let me try this. So the first, I will write k equal to 0 here. I shift this side. K equal to 0. So I will write z1, the 2 as it is, cos pi by 6 plus I sine pi by 6. Okay, so I will write here cis pi by 6. In short, the cos pi by 6 plus I sine pi by 6, and when you simplify you get root 3 plus I, that is the first z1. Case 2. Okay, case 2, k is equal to 1. K equal to 1 implies z2 is equal to cis. Now cis, it is a k is 1, it is a 3 pi by 6, is it? 2 is left there, 2 times cis 3 pi by 6, 2 plus 1. So what is a 3 pi by 6? It is 2 cis pi by 2, is that? Now what is cos pi by 2? What is cos pi by 2?
0, sir.
0, sir.
So it is a 2 and sine pi by 2 is 1. So 2i only. So I write here z1. The first vertex we got it here is root 3 plus I. The second vertex z2 we got as a 2i only. Now move further, replace k by 2, k by 3, 4 and 5, and you will get all 6 vertex of this regular hexagon. Okay, all 6 vertex of the regular hexagon. So I will write the answers then. Next, actually space is not there. Can I erase this first 2-3 steps here? First 3 steps, can I erase?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we got Z2. Now I will say k equal to 2. K is equal to 2 implies Z3. Z3 is a 2 times cis. Now here is 2. 5 pi by 6. Now 2 as it is. Cos 5 pi by 6. Which quadrant first? 5 pi by 6 is angle in?
Second quadrant, sir.
Yes, second
Cos
quadrant.
5 pi by 6 will be minus root 3 by 2.
Yes, minus root 3 by 2 plus I by 2. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So we got Z3 as minus root 3 plus I. So this is one more root we got here. Actually, we know the properties that roots are occur pairwise. Their conjugate is also there. So I think one of the root is a root 3 minus I also. and one of the root will come as a root 3 minus I also, and 2i is there. So what is the conjugate of that? It is a minus 2i. Okay, so we have three different pairs now. So therefore the remaining roots, so this is a z3, so z4 should be conjugate of this first, which is a root 3 minus I. Z5 should be conjugate of that, which is minus 2i, and Z6 should be conjugate of this minus root 3 minus I. So you will cross check, you will get definitely these answers. You can cross check with the calculation by putting k equal to 3, 4 and 5. By putting k equal to 3, 4, 5. You should write here as roots occur pairwise, that complex root occur pairwise with their conjugates. Okay, so because of
So
that
sir, in
property,
exam, can we do like this?
yes, you can do in the exam like this, but you should give the reason there. You should say as complex root always occur with pair with of their conjugate. Okay, with pair of their conjugate means if z is a root, z bar is also the root of that complex number. If z is a root, this z bar is also the root of that. Okay, that is a property. It is itself a property, so we can use it. You can write that way also in the exam. And if you plot all these numbers now, if you plot all these numbers on a unit circle, it will give you a regular hexagon. A regular hexagon. So this is one of the way to get or one of the way to prove that of getting all the 6 vertex of the regular hexagon. Any doubt here? Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt. Okay, let I show you a diagram of this only. So if you plot these, the diagram will look like this. So first of all, we have a circle of radius 2 there. Is that? So suppose 2 unit circle is there. This one. Someone is on the chat. Let I check. What should we write at the last step conclusion? The last step you should write like this only. Thus the all 6 roots, sorry, all 6 vertices of a regular hexagons are this one. Okay, Dilshad, is it clear? Obviously,
Yes, sir.
it depends on question. Question is itself only determine all the other vertices. So you can say thus all 6 vertices are this one. That one you have to write it only. But as it is a regular hexagon, I want to show you how that is a regular hexagon. So first root 3 plus I, we already observed this is a with its magnitude is a 2 and the angle is pi by 6, that is 30 degree. So if you observe Z1, Z1 is somewhere here, that is a Z1. So which have the magnitude 2, magnitude is a 2 and angle is a pi by 6, that is 30 degree. Okay, now Z2, if you observe Z2 we have the 60 minus 2i, sorry 2i. 2i means magnitude is 2 and it is along on y-axis, that is a Z2. So obviously all these with 60 degree angle there in between them. So again you have to take 60 degree here somewhere. So you will get Z3 somewhere here, that Z3. Okay, next Z4, this 30 degree and this one is 30 degree. So this is Z4, next is a Z4, this one is your Z5, and obviously this is 30 degree again, and that is a Z6. So these are the 6 first of all roots, 6 roots of that whatever we calculated with using that. And when you join all these together, they will form
Sir, one thing I want to ask.
Yes.
Sir, this Z2 is at 90 degree, na sir?
Yes, 90 degree. So it is 90 degree, na? You got it 90 degree. Z2 is on 90 degree there. On
Then pi by 6 is 30 degree. Then this angle will be 60 degree according to that.
no, this is 60 plus 30. 60 plus 30, 90 नहीं हुआ?
Yes sir, वो तो हुआ, लेकिन ये सारा आपस में भी बराबर होना चाहिए था ना
तो
सर?
आपस में बराबर ये तो है. अभी if you see here, this is don't calculate with the angle between two successive root is the same. So what is this angle? This angle is pi by 6 plus pi by 6.
Yes sir, yes sir. Now got it.
Okay, and now all these angles are same. So this is 60 degree, this is 60 degree, this
Okay.
is 60 degree. All these angles are same. So these angles are same. This is together. That is a regular hexagon there. So this is one method. By this method means by taking a root, by using a root of complex number, we can find out all the vertex because of the word regular hexagon. There is other way also. The other way is this way. We already observed that we get one root, means by algebra only. Algebra of complex number you can find it. The first thing what you observed when you calculate z1 in a polar form, this z1 in polar form, we got this as a 2 times cos pi by 6 plus I sin pi by 6. This is the one thing that we observed. Now we want obviously this is a regular hexagon. As it is a regular hexagon, so what is the angle between two successive roots? Yes, anyone? Total.
One
Yes,
60
60 degrees, sir.
60 degree, because 360 is a one rotation, and now we have to divide it into the 6 parts because 6 vertex are there. So 360 divided by 6, that is a 60 degree. So you got a z1 here, you got a z1. So what you should say, therefore z2 will be 2 plus 2 times cos pi by 6, or if you write cis pi by 6 here, 2 cis pi by 6. So this should be 2 times cis pi by 6 plus pi by 6.
Pi by 3
Plus
na
pi
sir.
by 6. Cis plus pi by 3. Because pi by 3 is 60, na? You are adding pi by 3 each time.
Yes sir.
Just add pi by 3 each time, you get new roots. Z3, 2 times cis pi by 6 plus 2 pi by 3. Z4, 2 times cis pi by 6 plus 3 pi by 3. And Z5 is 2 times cis pi by 6 plus 4 pi by 3. And lastly, Z6, sixth root, is a 2 times cis pi by 6 plus 5 pi by 3. That's one. Just you add these and you will get all these roots there. So this is one of the simple method again. Only you have to start with the polar form. First you should say polar form, and you can say as it is a regular hexagon. It should go like this. Just 1 minute. Someone is on the chat. Okay. Yes, Ronak, you have festival and you want to leave early. You can exit whenever you want. I'm not also not going to conduct at up to 12:45. Yes, we will take hardly 10-15 minutes only. Yes, any doubt here? This is other method I'm saying. So you can do it by any of the way. Both are the same. So you can do by any of the method. Whatever the method I written here, this one, the second method, actually the solution given in the book is this way only. This is a simple method. Okay, this is a simple method. We know it is a regular hexagon already it is given as it is a regular hexagon. The angle between two successive roots should be pi by 3. That you can start, and then just shift the angle by pi by 3. You will get the next vertex. Magnitude will be the same. Magnitude of that root will be the same, only the argument will change by pi by 3 there. Got it?
Sir, we are adding pi by 6 to every argument, no, sir.
Pardon?
We are adding pi by 6 to
Not
these.
pi by 6, pi by 3 we are adding. Pi by 3 means 60 degree. we're adding 60 degree in each root there. Then only you can shift from Z1 to Z2, Z2 to Z3 and so on. Clear? This pi by 6 plus pi by 3 is only pi by 2 here. And that is a cis pi by 2 and that is Z2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Crystal clear.
Good. Okay, so instead of this roots of equation, let me see the roots of equation in the next class. One more question, I will write it here. So that will do it right now and then we'll stop it. So I will write that question on the screen here. Ignore this question right now. So the question will be like this. Find all values of find all values of, let I say, 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2 I raised to 3 by 4. How many values will get? Tell me. How many values of this expression we get?
7.
Not correct. Not correct. How many values should we get for this expression? Obviously, cube will give us a single answer, but how many roots we are calculating here? 3 is also not correct answer. 1 is also not answer. The rest to 3 by 4 is there. So we are taking like a fourth root. First we are taking cube of this bracket and rest to 1 by 4. So rest to 1 by n decides the number of roots there. So right now we get exactly 4 values. Okay, exactly all 4 values of this bracket. Okay, because rest to 1 by 4 is there. That cube doesn't matter. Rest to n doesn't matter because it just gives you the power. Power is a unique value. The answer should be 4, not 2 again. Okay. So let me see how to start. So we should get all four values of this expression. So we can start with, let z as a given expression again. Let z is 1 by 2 plus I root 3 by 2. Can you convert it in polar? What is the polar? So r is 1, is it? So what is the polar form? It is a cis. Yes, anyone?
Pi by 3.
Pi by 3. Yeah, correct. Just one. Yes, 0 to 1, 4. That is correct. So this is cis pi by 3. Cis pi by 3 means cos pi by 3 plus I sin pi by 3. Remember, r is coming as 1. R is a root of x square plus y square. So you will get r as 1, theta as a pi by 3. So this is step number 1. We get a polar form. Step 2, we are going to write it in a general polar form. So z becomes cis of pi by 3 plus 2k pi. That is considered as a cis of this cross multiplying. It is a 6k plus 1 pi by 3, 6k plus 1 pi by 3. So this is a general polar form. We want raised to 3 by 4, taking raised to 3 by 4 on both sides. So this gives us z raised to 3 by 4 equal to. So when we take raised to 3 by 4, that power becomes a multiple of angle by De Moivre's theorem, we should say. By De Moivre's theorem, cis of 3 by 4 into 6k plus 1 pi by 3. This is by De Moivre's theorem. So obviously that 3 gets cancelled and we left with this as cis of 6k plus 1 pi by 4, where k should take the values because all possible values we have to calculate. So as we are taking fourth root, raised to 1 by 4 is there, so we should replace k by 0, 1, 2 and 3, and that gives us the final answer. Okay, so just last part is left now. We have to replace k by 0 to 3. So I will say first part, k equal to 0. K equal to 0 implies z1, the first root, z1 is a cis pi by 4. Obviously, cis pi by 4 is 1 by root 2 plus I 1 by root 2. Remember, always it is expected in the exam, your answer should be in a Cartesian form. So don't keep the answer in polar form. You will not get a full marks there. So you should convert it into the Cartesian form, the complex number at the end. So this is a Z1, K equal to 1, K equal to 1, Z2. So if you replace K by 1, you will observe cis 6 plus 1, that is 7 pi by 4. Yes, which quadrant? 7 pi by 4. Yes, anyone?
Third.
That third.
I guess fourth.
Someone saying
Oh,
fourth
sorry.
directly.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth, sir.
Okay.
Fourth, sir.
So tell me in the then 2 pi minus pi by 4. It is a 2 pi minus pi by 4, is it?
Yes, sir.
So in fourth quadrant, x is positive or negative? X is positive and y is
X
a
positive,
negative.
Y negative.
So you will get the answer 1 by root 2 minus I 1 by root 2. Y is a negative there, no? So x is 1 by root 2 and y is minus 1 by root 2. That's it. What it? Next, k equal to 3. Sorry, k equal to 2. Z3. Now we are putting it by 2. So 6 into 2 is a 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. This is 13 pi by 4.
Third quadrant.
Third quadrant. If it is third quadrant, you should get minus 1 by root 2 minus I 1 by root 2. And obviously then last that is a k equal to 3 we should get as a Z4, and that Z4 actually this is a k equal to 3, 18 plus 1, 19 pi by 4, 19 pi by 4. Now you'll observe the conjugate appeared already. Conjugate of these two already appeared. Conjugate of this should be the last root, so it should be minus 1 by root 2 plus I 1 by root 2. What it? Any doubt here?